thinking about buying new construction in or around the Boise, Idaho area, east, west, north, south, in the middle of the city, or out in the burbs, or maybe in the country, you are not going to want to miss today's video, because today I'm going to be covering everything you need to know to ensure you don't end up buying the wrong home built by the wrong builder and yep, in the wrong area. So if you're considering buying a home from a builder such as Toll Brothers, Tresidio, Lennar, Richmond American, CBH, Hayden Homes, any of those, or maybe a smaller local builder, be sure to watch this video. And oh, by the way, my name is Marcy Ellison. I'm a local realtor here in the Boise, Idaho area. My team and I love providing full community tours and pros and cons, jog vlogs, all of that every single week. So if this is your first time visiting our channel, please be sure to quickly tap that like and subscribe button. Okay, so to kick things off, let's talk about something you need to know about when it comes to many new home builders. And unfortunately, it's a little thing called, for lack of a better term, let's just say bait and switch.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
Just straight out, builders and their sales teams are out to do one thing. They've got one goal, right? And that's to sell you homes. Let's start with their websites. I know that most of you who are watching this from out of state. And as such, you're probably eyeballing some new construction communities online. So let me quickly point out that many of these, especially those with the biggest online presence and footprint, well, they've also got the largest sales and marketing teams under their employment. These are billion-dollar companies who are spending millions of dollars on digital and online marketing to make them look, well, absolutely amazing while also affordable. But while unfortunately for some of them, a lot of what they have on their website might just be a little bit, if not a lot of bit, off. Just kind of embellished and, well, just not fully accurate. And that is especially true when it comes down to, can you guess? Yep, the price. The worst offenders, in my opinion, are currently some of the big semi-custom home builders who have model homes that they tour you through, and you can do that either online or in person. And these model homes will have on display the home's quote-unquote base model price. So you walk through a home and let's just say its base price is $650,000. And you think, my word, I can afford this? Amazing, let's do it. Well, hold up, because before you sign absolutely anything, we are going to want to ask one very simple but important question, and that is just how much was added to this home's base price during the design process, i.e. what would this stunning model home that you're currently Googling over that has an apparent base price of $650K, what would it really cost to replicate? And the answer, more often than not, is going to be a lot higher than the base price you saw when you walked in. Because yep, the model home was built with the intention to wow and ultimately sell you, right? Which, well, I mean, that's not always a bad thing. Who doesn't love beautiful homes? I work in real estate after all. Of course, I love stunning homes, and I want you to get a gorgeous home that you'll love for years to come. But I also want to be certain that it's something that you can ultimately afford. So for this one, please note that here across Boise's Treasure Valley, we have a number of big builders who have absolutely stunning model homes that all had 200 to 400 to even 500,000 or more in upgrades and selections that were made at the design center. So ultimately, what seemed just too good to be true with a supposed sticker price, i.e. the base price of $650K, well, suddenly you could be looking at closer to $1 million or more.
Oh, bait and switch.
So please just keep that in mind if and when you get wowed by a model home, or better yet, work with an experienced local area expert who is also a relocation specialist, because they can help you to ensure you find the perfect fit for both your family and, of course, your budget. And then another somewhat hidden cost, or one that oftentimes surprises people if they've just been looking up new communities online, because, well, it can be a bit confusing at first, and some builders don't even list this information in a public-facing and up-to-date manner, is that the base price is not going to be taking into account the lot premium. Because, yep, lots across developments certainly vary, and sometimes quite significantly, and as such, their price tags do too. And this can be a bit hard for those who love looking up site and plat maps online, which can of course be fun. Well, except for those maps that are just complete eyesores and kind of make you want to gouge your eyes out, or those that the builder just forgets to routinely update. But anyhow, we have had many people call us up super excited about an online site map because, again, the good ones out there can really make it pretty darn fun to start dreaming and envisioning your new home and lifestyle here in Idaho. But the issue is that the vast majority of builders do not have lot premiums posted on these online maps. And those who do, for whatever reason, very often seem to forget to update them when premiums go up.
It's annoying, isn't it?
And well, assuming you have a budget and obviously want to get as much bang for your buck as possible, it can be a recipe for disappointment. We've had out-of-state clients just flip out over certain lots only to end up feeling super defeated when we have to be the ones to inform them that the lot they saw online that looked just almost too good to be true, well, telling them that, yep, unfortunately, its lot premium alone is more than half of their full budget, not news that many want to hear. So please, prior to getting overly excited about a specific lot or area in one of these new communities, give us a call so we can confirm that 1, that lot is still indeed available, and then 2, get its up to the minute lot premium. Getting this info straight out of the gate can definitely help you avoid disappointment and really just help get you pointed in a better direction for overall success. And then another tricky thing with some new construction and builder websites is when it comes to the scenery they post of the community. While you might be seeing some stunning views of the Boise Mountains or the Owyhee Mountain Range or Squaw Butte, what they likely won't show you or tell you is that there's a dairy farm or a trailer park that's half a mile down the road. And well, those details, for many of us anyhow, matter.
What?
Again with the bait and switch.
And guess who can help you hone in on those details? Again, a local expert. And on this note, do not ever go directly to a big builder without your own agent dialed. Because guess what? By doing so, you are unknowingly forfeiting your right to have your own representation and ultimately the option to really have someone who is solely looking out for you and your best interest. Because, well, the builders, and don't get me wrong, there are a lot of great builders out there, but they have sales teams whose members are so hot to trot to get your name and contact info. Who do you think pays them? Who do you think they report to? Whose best interest ultimately are they looking out for? The builders, of course, which, fair enough, the builder is their full-time employer and is paying their bills.
People need to get paid.
Here's another example. Some builders' websites might make the community look like it will have just endless sunsets and miles of open space all around you. But well, maybe here's what that property actually looks like on the ground.
Seriously.
And then on this vein, we also have a number of large builders who promote all the bells and whistles and amenities that their master plan communities will someday have. But then they don't clearly disclose that it will take 10 to 15 plus years for the community to be fully built out, and for all of those widely marketed bells and whistles to be complete. So if you're looking at a new builder's website thinking, fabulous, they have, 3 community pools, 2 fitness centers, a K through 12 elementary school, and even their own, cute little grocery store, and you're just assuming, which fair enough, because that's what it looks like on the website, that all of those are going to be right at your fingertips and ready to go when you move in. Or maybe you're thinking, it'll probably take a year or 2. Well, you could find yourself rather disgruntled when 5, 6, 7 or more years have passed and you only have, one of those amenities, or maybe none of those amenities that so wowed you at the beginning. So again, this is an area that having your own agent and local expert to dig into for you will benefit you greatly. Over the past several years, we have definitely known people who bought homes in certain communities across the valley with the thought that their toddler would be able to attend the up-and-coming K through 12 school that was supposed to be right smack dab in the middle of the community, only to watch their toddler enter kindergarten and then middle school and then high school, only to have the school never open until their freshman year in high school, and then only open up as a K through 6th grade school. This happened in one very popular community and one that we personally love for many reasons. But we have also known a number of people who packed up and moved out of that community just because the way in which the school was marketed and then never actually came to be until their child had quite literally aged out. So we get that frustration and we don't want you to experience it.
Thanks, Marcy.
So now, when we are talking about location and honing in on the best spot for you, one of the very first actions we recommend our buyers take, especially our out-of-state buyers who are relocating to the area, and so therefore everything is likely going to be brand new to you, is to go online to one of the multiple websites they have available to get your research on when it comes to crime, schools, and just overall quality of life. Now, as a realtor, we aren't technically allowed to persuade or NAR, so the National Association of Realtors uses the term steer you in a certain direction, which, side note, seems completely backwards and counterintuitive to me. I mean, as a realtor, shouldn't we be helping people find the absolute best and therefore safest spot for them and their family? But yeah, anyhow.
Careful there, Nancy Drew. Careful.
But anyhow, I can certainly provide you with some great readily available online resources to do the research. So one of my favorite resources for our local area includes crimegrade.org. So for this example, if you find a home that you just love, I would pull up two browsers, grab the zip code of the home you're interested in from the listing, and then copy paste it into crimegrade.org, and then zoom in to see the community and all of its surroundings. Again, I would pull up two browsers as that will really help you to zoom in on the correct cross streets and areas. Doing this will give you a pretty good idea of what you can expect. And then two other resources to check out, and these are in regard to education in schools, which I think are definitely important for both growing families to know about for obvious reasons, as well as empty nesters and kiddo-free relocators and households. And that's really because having strong schools and education options in your immediate vicinity will not only effectively help your home build better equity over the long term, but having great schools and educational systems in your local area will also impact its overall vibe and just really the strength of the community. So to check out schools in the local area, I would check out either niche.com or greatschools.org. And then I just realized I got a bit ahead of myself, so to quickly go back to the crime and safety bit, I would also encourage looking up national sex offenders. And one of the best websites we have for our local area that I've found is a government-run site, and it is nsopw.gov. Or if you're looking at homes in Boise's Ada County, you can go directly to the Ada County Sheriff's Office website, which is posted here. And I'll also post all of these links that I've mentioned in the description of this video for you to check out later. Okay, so now let's say you have found a community that you love and you've checked all the resources and are feeling pretty darn good about everything. But then you pull up the community's location on a map and, well, all of a sudden you notice a lot of farming areas nearby. Well, then we will need to be thinking about farm waste issues as well as possible industrial compost issues. So you'll want to do a little bit more research than just looking, of course, at the shiny website that the builder has paid buku bucks to market the community to you, and it really sucked you in, right?
Internet does not lie.
Just last week, we had a wonderful couple who found us right here on YouTube, call us up, who are both retiring next month. Great way to kick off the new year, right? We actually have a few clients that are retiring right at the end of the year or next month or February, which is pretty darn cool. But I digress. Anyhow, they are, the couple I was mentioning, they are gearing up to move to Boise as soon as their home in Arizona sells. They are both researchers and found a community that they were initially so excited about. They thought it would be perfect. And you know, looking at the builder's website, we could totally see what they were envisioning and thinking. But guess what? Just about a quarter of a mile to the community south is an enormous, not a little one, like an enormous dairy farm, which maybe for you, neither of those things would bother you or be deal breakers. But well, for this couple, yep, once we pointed out those two things, we were able to quickly remove the community from their list and move on to a much better and dairy-free community that they are now pending on a house for and are just really, really excited about. We have just loved and are still just loving working with this couple, helping to make their dreams of moving to Idaho, I know where I live, I promise, Idaho come true, and we would love to do the same for you. Okay, so another tip that we strongly encourage all of our buyers who are purchasing a home using financing to do is to go and get pre-approved, and that's prior to seeing any homes at all. Not only will this, of course, help you to ensure that you're looking at homes at the correct price point, because no one wants to fall in love with a home that's outside of their means, but it will also prepare you for the building teams who strongly push their own in-house or preferred lenders. Now, don't get me wrong, there are certainly instances when some builders' in-house lenders actually can provide the best possible terms, but that is 100% not always the case. And typically we encourage our buyers who are purchasing with financing, i.e. who are getting a mortgage to purchase their home, to reach out to one or more lenders, just because, well, guess what? Not all lenders are able to provide the best terms for every single unique situation. There are so many different factors that go into the lending process, and just about every brokerage and lending team has different parameters, tools, and packages that may or may not work for your unique situation. So going in pre-approved will allow you to compare what you've been offered by the lender or lenders you've already reached out to whatever the builder's in-house or preferred lender is offering, so that ultimately you can ensure that you are getting the very best deal possible, which of course is our goal.
Roger that.
Okay, so now let's talk about what you can expect when you buy a new construction home and the builder says they will be handling the inspection process. Some builders will tell buyers that they really don't need to get their own inspection because the building team will be handling all of that since, it's a new home. Well, we strongly encourage all of our buyers to always get their own inspection, and that's for both resale, so pre-existing homes, and in the past we have had builders who acted a little perturbed and a bit irked by the request, which to that all I can say is if they're even slightly worried about it, then that's even more of a reason to get your own inspection, right? Any builder worth their salt should be able to confidently have any professional and knowledgeable inspector come in and review their work.
Are you hiding something?
So yes, make sure you get it in writing when you go under contract that you are reserving the right to have the inspections you want if and when in the process you want to have them. And then let's talk about one additional perk that often comes along with new construction that you just don't see with resale pre-existing homes. Let's talk about buyers' incentives. While some large builders such as CBH and Hayden Homes strongly market the incentive programs that they're currently offering, but then there are some other big builders such as Tresidio and Toll Brothers who do not directly market that information on the regular. Who you will really want to have your agent, so again, the importance of having your own representation, you will want your agent to dig in and then negotiate those incentives into your deal. Over the past several months alone, we've helped 5 different families buy new builds with builders whose sales teams told us at first that their builders were not offering any incentives. And guess what? Since we knew all the other incentives that their direct competitors were currently offering at the time that we went under contract, we were able to negotiate those same incentive packages and deals into our deal, which is something that, well, we always love to do.
That is most gratifying.
So now let's talk a little bit about builder lingo. When builders post or talk about homes that are deemed inventory homes, spec homes, move-in ready, or quick move-in homes, these are all homes that are completely built or are under construction and will be complete and move-in ready typically within 30 days. So the biggest takeaway on these kinds of homes is that they are typically homes that have already been fully planned out by the builder, and generally you will not be able to make any changes to the physical home. That said, for the builders who are offering incentive packages and are widely marketing those, or whose direct competitors are, oftentimes we can negotiate to get them to provide, or rather add additional items into the home or change some selections such as fencing, window coverings, appliances, or things of that nature. But if you are hoping to buy an inventory or spec or move-in ready home and swap out paint colors or cabinetry or countertops, well, that likely will not be an option. However, there are some builders here that if the home is still under construction and it's before or shortly after the framing process, that we can go in and try to negotiate with to see if some changes and selections can be made. It just totally comes down to the builder. For instance, we have been able to do this with Tresidio and Toll Brothers, but then on the other hand, if you are hoping to do it with CBH homes, it's not going to happen, or currently it's not happening in our market right now. As of today, CBH's selections are 100% being left up to CBH. Okay, so now let's cover a question that we get a lot from our clients who end up going the new construction route. Let's talk about property taxes and how we can figure out what you can expect to be paying Uncle Sam come tax day. And this one is a bit different and takes a little more digging into compared to when you buy a resale, so a pre-existing home, because, well, when you go and buy a brand new home, there will not be a current record of what both the home's lot and then the finished home on that lot, what they together will be taxed on, because, well, the home is brand new, right? So it hasn't been assessed. So any tax information that the assessor's office does have on file will only be for that lot that the home has been built on. And then once the home is fully built and complete and it sells, it's going to be reassessed by the county assessor's office. And then that amount will be added to whatever the land, when it was just a buildable lot, was valued at. So yep, that means property taxes the following year are going to be going up, because now taxes are going to be owed not just on the land, but on the completed home as well. So in order to come up with an idea of what you could expect to be paying in property taxes for your newly constructed home, what we do is research your new home specific area and find its exact levy rate, because yes, levy rates can and do vary pretty significantly here across the Treasure Valley. And then once we have that, we pull together a list of comparable homes in the home that you were purchasing's vicinity that sold at least a year or two ago. And then we see what the assessor's office has on file for their assessed values. And then once we have all of that information, we also take into account the $125,000 homeowner's exemption, which you will qualify for if you are living in your home as a primary residence. So then we deduct that. So we deduct the $125,000 from the total estimated assessed value. And then we take that amount and multiply it by the levy rate, and voila, we have a pretty close idea of what you can expect to be looking at come tax day. For whatever reason, many people think that our property taxes are determined by the home's purchase price, which thankfully is not the case. Having them instead based on the assessor's assessed value, which is almost always and most frequently somewhat significantly lower than its market value.
Saving money.
And then here's another quick tip, as well as a heads up. During the closing process, it's almost always at the final signing when we are all together in person at the title company, your escrow officer will provide you with a homeowner's exemption document, which again will allow you to save that $125K come tax day. Well, not save, but it'll allow you to deduct that amount from your home's assessed value. And on that sheet, there will be a section asking buyers, so asking you to write in what you purchased your home for. But here's a free tip. It is 100% not required, and we strongly advise our buyers to never put their purchase price in there. Some of our go-to escrow officers know us well enough to actually just go ahead and put a line through that section when we're all together so that there's zero confusion. Because yeah, there are so many moving parts and information being thrown at you come closing day. And sometimes things can get just a little bit muddled, and well, people can forget. And again, the way the form is laid out, it's easy to see why many people think that it is a required field. But nope, it's not. And well, seeing as Idaho is a non-disclosure state, actual purchase prices are not public-facing information. So do not fill that in as leaving it blank or crossing it out entirely, as I mentioned, many of our favorite escrow officers do, could potentially save you some money come tax day.
Gee, thanks, Marcy.
Okay, so now let's say you're watching this from out of state and you're wondering what you can do right now to learn more about the various areas that make up our valley. Your very best step would be to pick up that phone and give us a call so we can discuss what you're envisioning and help point you in the right direction. Because, well, before you start spending hours online using one of the fun, but also potentially time-wasting home building tools that many builders now offer, we need to hone in on what area is ultimately going to be best for you and whomever it is who's coming alongside of you. Because honestly, if you move to the wrong area, it won't matter how beautiful your new home is or the positioning of the lot or any of that, because, well, when it comes to real estate, we all know the golden rule, right? Location, location, location. So let us help you find your perfect location here in Boise's Treasure Valley. If you are curious to know more about any builders in particular here in our local market, or maybe you are looking for more information about one or several new developments and communities, give us a call or send us a text. My laid back and low pressure, but also highly proven and dialed team are here and ready to help. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.